Office of the Medical Examiner, Beatsville. Dr. Jack Hanman is speaking. How can I help you?
Good evening, this is Kate Brooks. I'm not sure if you remember me. A few weeks ago, we talked about an article I'm working on. It's about your wife. I dropped by last Friday to speak to you, but you weren't working at the time. I asked the security guard to pass on a note for me. I would like us to discuss the topic of...
I thought I had made it painfully obvious for the last time. No! Please don't call me again and stop inquiring about my wife. Damn journalists. They don't let me work. God damn it. I'm not in the best frame of mind to record a lecture for my students now. I'm feeling completely broken. Where did I leave my meds this time?
So he seems like really angry about his wife. Hi, this is Kate Brooks, a reporter for the New Orleans Weekly. I couldn't find you at home. I'm starting to suspect you're avoiding me. Mr. Hanman, anyway, as you know, we'd like to write an article commemorating your wife's achievements. So she must be dead. We would be delighted to talk to you about it. Along with this note, I'm also leaving my business card. Let me call you this evening. I hope to find you at home or at the office.
Stephen didn't clean up after himself again. Awful. It would be good to finally repair the coffee machine.
His wife?
I guess it was in another life. Wednesday. It's not my favorite day, although it's certainly better than Monday.
Oh, this isn't creepy at all, is it?
Okay, time to pull myself together. And get back to work.
Random hairbrush.
I need to set the camera first.
So where's the camera then? In his office? Oh, I seen something glowing.
This place is starting to... Now remember, Jack, don't forget, hit the record button this time.
Place it in a tripod.
Hopefully the new tripod is going to hold up.
Oh, here we go. So I've read that this has some jump scares in it, so I'm hoping it's a really good game.
To get everything in frame. This should be fine. November 20th, 1991. Time, 8:43 p.m. Recording for medical students from the University of Missouri. This autopsy is conducted by Jack Hanman. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the autopsy room. Today, you will have the dubious pleasure of following a full autopsy. Let's start. Always wear an apron, mask, and gloves. Goggles are a must when the job is splashy. And in case of sharp accidents, it's worth having disinfectants at hand. It's true that you won't get ptomaine poisoning straight away, but if your liver or kidney aren't doing well, you may end up with diarrhea.
When the job is splashy.
The cadaver is placed on its back on the autopsy table. The pathologist stands on the right of the deceased. Make sure that all the necessary tools are always at hand so that you don't have to run around looking for something, like I do all the time. In the process of revealing and securing forensic evidence, it is difficult not to interfere with the original condition of the deceased. Written and photographic documentation plays a vital role throughout the entire examination process. During your research, be patient, inquisitive, but above all, attentive to detail. Many entries are visible at first glance, but sometimes they can be cover for more interesting stories. And lastly, remember that nothing teaches you self-narration like working with the dead. So get used to that fact soon. Everyone will think you're talking to yourself. Now, onto the
Lovely.
police folder. That will contain all sorts of pertinent information as to who the deceased might be and what potentially happened to them. So, let's take a closer look, shall we? The deceased's name is Tobias Chambers, locally known as Old Toby. Homeless and unemployed for at least a couple of years. The deceased was found on the outskirts of a parking lot at a gas station, where he often begged and persistently offered drivers to wash their car windows. The body was noticed by a station employee during the morning shift. Initially, he thought that someone had thrown some boots and a coat in a nearby ditch. It took him a moment to recognize the pile of clothes as the body of a man. He worked most of his life at the local port dealing with unloaded cargo. He was fired for being drunk and starting fights. His son runs a hardware store on his own. His wife left him years ago. They both had no contact with the deceased. Signs of libation were found around the body. Empty bottles, traces of an inept attempt to start a fire, and a scattered makeshift blanket. That's it.
So he was living in the woods?
Remembering the context around the scene of a death. This allows you to better interpret any traces found on the body. I shouldn't start the procedure without gloves. Now it's our turn to take some pictures for our files. If I can just remember where I left the camera. It's in here somewhere. Aha! There you are. I knew it was here somewhere. As I mentioned at the beginning, before we begin the internal examination, we need to document the cadaver and the condition it arrived in. We begin with a full body photo. Try and stick to the top. Voila! Now we move on to the next step. Looking for traces. Take your time. You're looking for anything out of the
skip
ordinary.
that. Okay, so... Oh god, that moved fast.
The boiler-healed wound. Looks old. I'll take a closer look later.
No, is that not a wound? No. Oh, the feet.
Some wounds in the feet and signs of frostbite. Probably because the subject's shoes were too small.
The hand.
Hardened hands, worn out by physical work and frostbite.
It seems like he was living in the woods. He fallen, hit his head or something.
That's something interesting. It will be necessary to check whether this injury was severe enough to cause damage to the brain. In a moment, we will check which of our initial observations will be worthy of further
Pin the photos to the photo
But
board.
before we get to that, I need to write down some basic data.
Okay. Perform the autopsy.
Scalpel, scissors, syringe, magnifying glass, knife. I guess I forgot to clean the knife. Personal information. The deceased was unclothed. Date. Okay, as you can see, I note everything down on previously prepared forms. Every pathologist must keep a detailed record of every step of the autopsy. This not only allows you to track the procedure, but also collates the results together, upon which you may back up your conclusions. So, enough of the boring prep. Let's begin by taking a closer look at the spots I photographed earlier. For this, you're going to need a magnifying glass.
Okay. Magnify.
Which spot first? Here we can see frostbite on the fingertips. We can tell by the characteristic skin color.
Okay. Mark in the head.
I can confirm the presence of ecchymosis on the deceased man's head. The appearance indicates the intravital nature of the wound. Add alcohol, which I can clearly smell. And this was an accident just waiting to happen.
So, probably fell whilst drunk.
It looks like a burn mark, no doubt painful, but it's not pertinent for this case.
And then it was the foot. Yep.
Definitely a painful mix of frostbite, abrasions, and blisters.
Look at the
Toby had been wearing
toenails.
shoes too small for him for a very long time. That's if he wore any at all. So far, there are a lot of superficial wounds, but only one serious injury to the head. Let's go back to our notes.
Highlight the previous found wounds. Okay. So, how do we get the clipboard? Yeah, my pad isn't working. Oh, you need to be attached to the body to do it. Right, that's a UV lamp and stuff. A clipboard shift. Okay.
First, I marked the location of the injuries. We're not in frost season yet, but high humidity, wind, and the inability to warm up can also be causes of frostbite. The head wound. Definitely an important clue. This is something we'll investigate first.
The
Even though this
scar.
type of wound didn't contribute to the deceased's death, we're still required to record it.
And then the foot.
If Toby's body was cold for a prolonged period, the frostbite could have resulted from the body's defense reaction. The safety of the internal organs is more important than fingers, nose, or ears. As you can see, we don't have much to go on. Let's write down what preliminary causes of death we can think of. Considering the conditions in which he slept, various types of accidents are a common cause of death among the homeless and the elderly. Perhaps old Toby slipped and accidentally hit his head.
I did think that.
This is of no interest to us. The nights have been particularly nasty lately. We will check if there are any signs of freezing internally. Since the deceased clearly smelled of alcohol, I'll add alcohol poisoning to our list. We still have one thing left from the basics. Rigor mortis. Well,
Okay.
take our deceased by the hand. Gradually re-raise it.
Or you need to keep it in it.
Now let it go. As you can see, the hand falls loose. What's the conclusion? Death must have occurred more than 72 hours ago. The police information appears correct. Head trauma seems the most promising, so we'll start there. For this, I need an oscillating saw.
Tools, saw. Yeah.
The cut is made from ear to ear.
Oh, lovely. That sounds horrible.
After which, we remove the skin and the top of the skull.
Ew.
After the basic examination,
Oh,
we can
jiggles.
see that the brain's cerebral gyri in both hemispheres are symmetric. The brain looks good. Let's take a cross-section.
Oh, leave the body.
Pathologists prefer to examine organs without removing them. However, for me, it's much more convenient to examine them on a board, which we'll do now. Holding a long, narrow blade knife in the dominant hand, we slowly cut the cranial nerves on both sides, all the time pulling the brain towards us.
Oh, nearly hit it there.
So far, so good. The hematoma seems to have had no effect on the brain.
Bloody looks like a machete. Return to the autopsy. Okay.
We can rule the fatal accident out as well.
So we...
Brain is in good
Right,
condition,
okay.
so we have no choice.
The fall never
Proceed
killed
with
him.
internal examination of the other organs. I grab a scalpel from my kit. The incision should be in the shape of a letter Y. We use a deep cut to reach all the way to the ribs and to penetrate the abdominal wall. All right, now we peel back and separate the skin.
That's not... Oh, wait. I need the top part first. Lovely. Grip it and move it. Come on. Why is this? There we go.
Now, we need to remove the ribs. We'll need the loppers for this.
And just a wee snap, and it's
Satisfying
gone.
crunch, for some anyway. After removing the cartilage tissue, we instantly notice two things. Firstly, there is no congestion of the internal organs. This means that although the deceased was hypothermic, it didn't kill him. Secondly, the deceased smoked like a chimney. So, we should take a closer look at those lungs. We can see widespread
right.
black and tarry deposits caused by
Oh.
smoking cigarettes.
Someone doesn't jiggle.
Despite the tragic condition of the lungs, they are not the cause of death. Alice smoked too. It didn't kill her, but... what was I talking about? Lungs. Yeah.
We hint about his wife.
Advanced inflammation.
Okay. So the lungs are damaged, but not the cause of death.
What now? The syringe. Now's a good time to collect some samples.
3 samples.
Specifically 3. From 5 milliliters from the left ventricle should do it. Vitreous humor analysis is very useful in indicating long-term alcohol abuse.
And the last one.
Left on the bladder, we draw about 10 milliliters of fluid. Now we take our samples to the centrifuge. But before I do that, I need to find my notebook. My dyscalculia means that I always double-check the settings. Please excuse me.
Good notebook from the office. Notebook right there.
This whole thing is covered in stains. I should check this out under the microscope sometime.
Maybe because you're wearing the exact same gloves to open every flipping door and pick up your book and all that. But the centrifuge, what's
Back
that?
to the examination.
Must be in here. Like, how dirty is that? Like, using the gloves that you've just done that with to go to your office and pick up a bloody book.
We put all of the samples into the rotor.
Done.
Now, we set the appropriate time and speed.
So, we go to the notes. So 15 minutes at 70%. So 15 minutes. Is this a... Yep. I think that's right, at 70%.
Okay, let's roll.
It was just there we go. You just wait.
Oh shit. The fuses again.
Get lost. I don't want to go and fix it, anything.
Where were we? Oh yes, the blood alcohol concentration.
That was not
Let's see what we got
creepy.
here. Everything's separated as it should. Our lab is closed until tomorrow after the last, incident. However, considering that Toby's favorite eau de parfum appears to be ethanol, I'm guessing the results won't surprise me at all.
Like the
Let's go
samples,
further.
okay.
We will now focus on the cardiovascular system, specifically the heart. We remove the organ and examine it closely. We look for dark hypoxic areas, clots, or other elements that stand out as abnormal.
This.
At first glance, the heart looks fine. The pulmonary trunk and aorta seem to be in good condition. There are no pathological changes that would have contributed to Toby's death. Now let's take a closer look at the stomach. Size is normal, healthy, and as expected,
A jiggle.
the stomach has no major external damage. We must now cut it open and inspect inside. We will do it carefully so that its contents do not spill out.
Yeah. Right, okay.
We open the stomach along the greater curvature, from the heart to the pyloric end. Oh, I already feel like there's something left inside.
This kebab for the night before. Nearly there, nearly.
Okay, large amount of gas, small amounts of yellow, grayish food content, resembling some kind of meat.
Imagine the
Like
smell of that. It'd be absolutely
Or
disgusting.
the bulk of his stomach had already found a way out. Looks like I'll have to find the missing contents.
That's what we're doing now.
There are two ways here. One is obvious, and the other is... It couldn't have been suffocation, could it? I'll add this to the list and move on to the deceased's neck. At first glance, the trachea looks normal. Same result as with the stomach. The external inspection doesn't tell us anything. This time we'll cut on a tray.
I cannot get by.
While cutting such
How
a
everything
small opening
jiggles.
as the trachea, we must make a precise incision.
No problem. We're amazing at that.
With the very tip of the blade, we must hold the scalpel as we would a pen. And after careful examination and deduction, we've got it. A clogged trachea. It's time to summarize the whole thing.
Right, I'm going to summarise. He was drinking, puked, couldn't bring it up because it's stuck in his throat, and he died. That's what I think happened. Return to the autopsy.
Based on the report and preliminary documentation, it's safe to assume that the deceased passed out after consumption of alcohol and then fell asleep on his back. Then, the gastric contents refluxed and flooded the airways, causing death. That's why we don't forget about the recovery position at dorm parties.
There we go. First one down. Okay, oh, I sign it. Oh wait, accident.
And now it's all clear. The death was suffocation. Now, signature. The mystery is solved. But for us, this is not the end. First, the dead body needs to be cleaned up. For this, we will need to close the body and grab the needle. First, we unroll the skin flaps.
Wait, do
Then, we sew the deceased back up.
you not put everything back, or like at least put something in him to keep him full? Because you would think he's just going to like, he's not got the rib cage to like hold him up, so he's just got to go. You know what I mean? It's like, it's my thought process there.
I'm using the baseball stitch technique. This stitching method is very strong and quick to do. Beautiful. Now we say goodbye to the deceased and put them safely in the fridge, ready for the next stage of their journey.
Place the body in the fridge and close it. Oh, right, you're just clicking it.
God, I'm tired. I'll drop these samples off at the lab on the way to the bar. I'll call Steven. I don't feel like drinking alone today.
Okay, so I think we're heading to his house now. We're heading home. Oh, wait, did I walk here? Yeah. Oh, what is this? Wait, do we click on it? It's a cool looking skeleton. This is pretty cool. You're just buried in dead people. That was pretty cool looking now. A horror game has skulls, I'm in. Like, I have like so many skull tattoos. I just think they look so cool. So horror game throws that in, I'm right there.
What? Christ. What a dream. Fuck.
Take your pills.
So much light everywhere. A pill a day keeps the defective Jack away.
Oh, they're right there.
It's a shame these won't help with my hangover. The fucking phone. Okay. I know I'm late. I'll be there soon. It's not like the dead are impatient.
Jack, no.
Alice? Who is this?
It's Charlotte Graves.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I didn't recognize you. I thought it was work calling.
It's okay. I hate it when work calls me at home, too. How is everything? We haven't talked
Since Alice died.
Well, there are good days, and there are bad days. What can I say? At least I can hide away at work.
Well, you always were the most comfortable in the dissecting room. Listen, I have an unusual...
Is that a good thing?
Okay, how can I help?
It's nothing serious. I just wanted to ask. Do you have any pictures of Alice? Maybe one where the two of us are together? I'd love to have something to remind me of her.
I guess. I'm not sure. I'll look through her things.
Thank you. I'm sorry to trouble you with this. All this can't be easy for you.
I'll get through it somehow. I've been meaning to sort through her stuff for a while. Have you asked Steven if he has anything?
Yes, I spoke with him this morning. He said he gave everything to their mother and that I should ask you.
I see.
Jack, I know you're trying. That you cope somehow. Steven's there for you. Although, well, we all know how he can be. But, I mean, if you wanted to reminisce about Alice, talk.
I really should go now. I overslept, I'm late for work, and I still have some errands to run on the way.
Oh. Okay, sure. Sorry to keep you.
I'll look for something and send it over. Thanks for the call, and bye.
Oh, do you have my address?
Not on hand. You'd best remind me again.
292 Browning Lane, apartment 432, Johnson City, New York, 13790.
Got it. Thanks.
Thank you. It would mean a lot to me. Just miss her so much.
Yeah, me too. And that's okay. Really, no problem.
Thank you. Take care, Jack.
You too, Charlotte. It was nice to hear you. Well, that was a bit unexpected. I should probably find something to send.
So he sighs a lot. Like he's just fucking sick of absolutely everything and everyone. And the sign is a little bit annoying. Like, who sighs after like every bloody word? It's so strange. That's not it. Really, that's not it.
The view isn't spectacular, but why does that car look familiar?
What car? That shadow down there's a car. God. There's an office here. I just walked by.
An indispensable element of every office. I should really try and read a few of these.
So, was Alice a doctor? Wet Paris.
Some days, I just feel like setting fire to all this paperwork. I'm fed up with it.
What about this picture?
It's been almost a year. I wasn't able to support her through this.
Oh, so she must have lost the baby.
Till death do us part.
A wedding ring?
It was a miracle that the coffee didn't wash off the writing. And that she said yes.
Get a pen. Must be Alice's earrings.
It's always good to have something for a rainy day.
So, why is there
She
two
got it for her first day of work.
next to
And
the
she
pen?
broke it the same day. She said it was for luck. It's always good to have something for a rainy day.
Okay, oh, there's a drawer here.
Alice and Charlotte in Amsterdam.
Is that the picture?
It's hard to believe they've known each other for so long.
Okay, what do I do now?
It would be better if Charlotte had this. It deserves to be on display and not hidden in a drawer.
Okay. And an envelope. There's got to be an envelope here. Right there.
Okay, time to go to work. I'm seriously late.
Not getting changed. Brushing your teeth or anything like that, no?
I should grab some coffee and aspirin on the way.
Right, that's shut. It's a shithole. Clearly someone doesn't live there.
These fluorescent tubes are brutal.
You go... No, can't go upstairs. That's random. That's even weird as well. Must need to go out here. Okay. I got cigarettes. You go down this way? Yep. Spotted. Weird graffiti. That door's been put in. But where does he live if it looks like this?
I hope this helps, Charlotte. Okay. All done here. Time to go. Huh?
What the fuck? Okay.
Damn. I forgot my jacket. Well. I'll brave it for tonight. Too bad.
The footsteps are a bit creepy.
Nice and fresh. At least it's peaceful here.
Oh, a little glitch there.
Good evening, Mr. Ridley.
Your timesheet, Hammond?
Alright, just go to the office.
Some corpses have more personality than this guy. Christ. Who leaves the window open in the middle of November? So I'd better check the answering machine.
Okay.
Hi, Jack. I dropped by a little early today. I left the body with Ridley in the corridor. He wasn't sitting in the locker then, so maybe he'll even throw him into the room.
What's in here?
Well, how are you doing? I mean, it's your first birthday without her, and... This, I still have a hangover, and you know me, I run to the John like the neighbor's fucking dog. You know, today I slipped on
Wait.
his shit again. That fucking furball. You always have to
Oh,
shit
there's
next to my
crayons there.
car. Anyway, I can't come over in the evening, but we'll catch up on the weekend, okay? Bye. Fuck. I almost forgot. Charlotte called me this morning. She asked about you, so answer your calls, Jack. This time it's not a reprimand for being late.
That's par for the course. I wonder when this clown will learn to look under his feet. Birthday.
A little muffin.
I actually forgot it was today. Alice baked me muffins like these every birthday. A treat for later. I always crave something sweet after a section. Okay, joke's over. Apron, gloves, and get to work.
Okay, so apron.
Ah, man. I remember
Gloves.
You were on that talent show. What was your name again? I need to order another batch of these. I've got to remember to do that later. And that's the whole point. Steven laughs at me for recording everything. He says I have a bigger collection of stuff like this than most of the creeps he's caught. November 21st, 1991. Time, 9:13 p.m. The autopsy is conducted by Jack Hanman. Lecture for the Medical University of Missouri. After yesterday's lecture, you should... So, where do I start? That's right.
Oh, I
Police
skipped
folder.
that. Please folder.
Ah, yes. Samantha Barker. Now I remember. There's probably going to be a lot of chatter about this.
Why is he so happy? It's weird.
When questioned, friends admitted that Samantha's last days before losing contact seemed extremely happy and relaxed. She also quit drinking alcohol and mentioned something about rehab. The friend also admits that there was no indication of an impending tragedy.
Okay. Floor plan.
Found in her own apartment by police patrol. Officers were called by a concerned friend of the deceased, who had been unable to contact Barker for several days. During the interrogation, a friend of the deceased admitted that Samantha never got to grips with the sudden fame that came after winning such a high-profile talent show. After her first album became a commercial success, she was hit with a creative drought. She suffered panic attacks and severe sleep problems. Drugs and medication came into play.
Like most your troubles.
The deceased was found in her own apartment, in a semi-recumbent position on an armchair. Large quantities of alcohol and empty packets of sleeping pills were also found in the apartment.
Definitely an overdose.
Well, let's see what settled this matter. As you can see, the body is fully clothed. Therefore, before we move on to photographic documentation, we must remove the clothes. Okay, now we can continue with the examination. Again, begin by taking photographs of the cadaver. I guarantee that over time it will cease being embarrassing for you. First, we photograph the whole body.
I think I'm too close.
And
There we
now,
go.
any suspicious looking marks or wounds. Interesting. Very uneven. We need to investigate this.
Just try and hang herself or something.
You don't get such bruises from a normal contusion.
Oh, it's the feet.
Well, there's even more here. Yes, I've seen this many times.
Oh, what is it instead of just saying that? He is not saying a thing about that.
A few we will need to look into here.
Pin photos on the board. I think we just do that every single time. Perform the autopsy.
Notes prepared. Time to take a closer look.
Okay. Inspect areas of concern with a magnifying glass. So, magnifier.
Some furrows have imprinted more strongly, others less, as if someone was, undecided.
I think she tried to hang herself.
The number of
That-
bruises suggests that there may have been some kind of tussle. Such bruises are caused by either a very heavy blow or by some internal issues.
Hand and
But
foot.
here's something
No.
interesting. The skin of the deceased is covered with numerous blisters. Some of them are ruptured. Others still contain fluid residue.
Okay. And then the foot.
More numerous blisters. We have some leads to investigate here. Let's write this down. On the neck of the deceased, we can see clear furrows, indicating that strangulation may be the probable cause of death. Currently, it's difficult to say whether the bruises were the result of a beating or whether it could be some kind of internal bleeding. Given the
Okay.
condition of the deceased, it's difficult to tell immediately whether the bruises were the result of a struggle or perhaps the result of iron deficiency. In general, such blisters usually appear in the case of mechanical abrasions, but due to the place of occurrence, this should be excluded. The most likely, although it's easier to have abrasions on your feet, but the
Keep
number and
skipping it.
size of the blisters suggests that it's probably a matter of barbiturate poisoning.
Okay, so click
A
them.
severed spinal cord, trauma to the... After examining the organs, we can easily verify whether there was internal bleeding or whether the deceased was suffering from something. The examination with a UV lamp will dispel some doubts. Potential attackers could have left traces. I'll add barbiturates to the list of necessary tests, to be checked in the lab later. Given the testimony of the victim's friend, I add alcohol poisoning to the list of potential causes of Miss Barker's death. A blood test will no doubt quickly verify that hypothesis. But first I'll check for external traces. For this we use the good old UV lamp.
UV lamp.
I look carefully at the whole body. UV rays will reveal any traces. Legs, there's torso. Empty. The area around the head is empty. Right hand clean. The left hand seems to be fine. No marks. Ah, well, nothing to surprise us here. Now gently, we take the deceased by the hand, and we check for rigor
Rigor
mortis.
mortis. Oh, you grab it. Why is it start? Why is it full? That's what I don't understand. I think you need to keep it on that line.
The hand falls freely. After yesterday, you should know what this means. Since we don't have a definitive lead, we will examine all the key organs one by one. So, I'm starting the internal inspection.
So the scalpel. Yep.
I dissect the skin of the deceased.
These sound effects make it sound like a Zorro that's cutting her open. Still tell me to cut. What?
And I proceed to deflect the skin flaps. Compared with yesterday's body, the deceased has only trace amounts of adipose. Now for the ribs.
Then snap the ribs out.
What do we have here? Or rather, what don't we have? There is certainly no sign of internal bleeding.
The
Sometimes
syringe.
regarding bruising, it doesn't take much. My wife was constantly banging into furniture, walking into door frames. That's a wonder she never broke anything. Before I disembowel the deceased, I will take samples for toxicological tests to determine the alcohol content in the body. I just need my syringe. All done. I'll transfer these to the centrifuge. What was it? 15, 70, 10, 75?
That's a clipboard. Right, retrieve the notebook from the office. Okay. When he talks about his wife, it's like he's in the middle of saying something and then he just starts talking about his wife and then jumps back into what he was saying or something else. It's kind of weird, to be quite honest.
I'll need my notebook. Numbers have never been my strong point. It's probably why I regularly forgot birthdays and anniversaries. I'm lucky Alice always forgave me.
Yeah, presence of alcohol was 1570, I'm sure. Is this not turning? Oh, place of samples. Forgot about that bit.
Gently does it with this old thing. Handle with kid gloves. I'm starting the centrifuge. Let's see what results come out. The laboratory is already open, so...
Not again.
Fucking hell! Ridley! Mr. Ridley! Where is he? The fuses need resetting. Fuck it. I'll do it myself. I swear there was a flashlight in here.
Where? Yeah, I don't know what I'm picking up. We'll just wing it. Is it in here? Storeroom.
Whatever. I know where the switches are anyway. First the right, and then the left. And voila.
Okay. Thought it seemed like a weird...
What? What the... oh, for fuck's sake. Can't I work in peace?
That was strange. Is his wife the one haunting him? That's what I want to know.
Speaking.
Is it his wife?
Why so rude?
Steve? Sorry, man. This place is falling apart, and Ridley won't even lift a finger to help. You just can't work here.
Did the centrifuge strip the fuses again?
Yeah, eventually everything's gonna go up in smoke.
Look on the bright side. It's a free cremation with your autopsy.
Jesus, stop it. That shit pisses me off.
Okay, sorry, Jack. Anyway, I'm calling to ask how the autopsy's going. Soon there'll be journalists sniffing around for info, so we'd best be ready.
I'll whiz through this in a couple of hours. It doesn't look like a complicated case to me. More of a formality. The report will be available in the morning.
Sounds great. Thanks. Phew. How's your head?
Well, my head seems better than yours. On the way to work.
Holy fuck. Jack, turn on the radio.
What? What's happening?
Quiet.
A 3-car police convoy was involved in an accident near Pete's Bay Bridge while transporting prisoners to Orleans Parish Prison. At the moment, we do not know the exact number of victims or whether any of the convicts escaped. However, the scale of the accident indicates a large number of victims, possibly even fatal ones. Police are on their way to investigate the incident and secure the area. We know that the injured prisoners are on death row. The police were to transport them to their execution, which was to take place tomorrow morning. Many of them are very dangerous criminals. We will report on the matter on an ongoing basis, so stay tuned with us.
So prisoners escape.
What? Steven, was Red Pete one of the passengers? He was, wasn't he? What if he survived?
Jack, I have to go. They want me on site.
What if he survived?
I gotta go. Talk to you later, okay?
Fuck. Calm down, Jack. Pills. I need my pills. You heard him, Jack. A serious accident. Lots of victims. He's definitely dead.
Who's Red Pete? I'm gonna say Red Pete's a serial killer.
To happen. Christ. I've gotta get back to work.
Yes, you do. Collect the samples.
What?
Yeah, I'm ignoring it.
Technical break. At least I know I can pursue a career as a janitor. My own but trusted centrifuge. Ideal for my own but trusted centrifuge. Ideal for all the fluid tests I need to perform during an autopsy. Fucking hell!
God. Eerily quiet now.
Alright, let's see if we were able to get anything out of this piece of crap. And miraculously, yes. The samples did spin. I'll transfer them to the chromograph in the lab.
The lab.
Alright, let's load this up. I placed the test tubes in the rack.
Right. Right, we take this.
Now, just take 5 milliliters from each.
Okay. You said 5? Oh shit.
Precisely.
There we go. And then we use it. Okay. That's saying we don't have enough.
And the next.
Weird. Right, okay, set it to 10. Okay.
Five more.
And 15.
We put the prepared sample
Done.
into the machine. Let's see what we have here. The results indicate that the deceased did consume alcohol shortly before her death. However, this is not an amount that could cause poisoning leading to death. Just slight inebriation. I can return
Okay.
to the body and continue the rest of the examination. The chromatograph results show that we can eliminate alcohol poisoning from our list of potential causes of death. However, remember that alcohol can affect the functioning of the entire body. It disturbs the heart rhythm, accelerating its rate, and dilutes the blood, which may result in more severe bleeding in the event of an accident. Also remember that alcohol affects the metabolism of drugs in the liver,
2
which
samples.
I'll now look at in more detail. First, I'll pick up the syringe again. I'll take samples from the liver and the heart to test the concentration of barbiturates in the body.
That noise there was me dropping my mic.
That's enough. I'll do the test later. I'd best not try my luck with the centrifuge right now. Now I remove the liver.
Okay. What one's the liver? This?
No lesions. However, it is slightly enlarged. Perhaps it's a slight inflammation or drug-induced damage. It may also be the result of the deposition of substances from drugs. Let's check the weight of the organ.
Okay, we stick it on a scale then. Throw it in it. Wait,
The weight is
did not look like that
100 grams.
when we first looked at it. It did not look like that. It looks like shit now. It was all nice and red, now it's all yellow. It's horrible looking. Transfer it to the cutting board. I missed.
I'll move on.
I don't know if
to
you
a
see it, I totally
cross-sectional
missed the cutting
study.
board. I hit the
Perhaps the
jug.
enlargement is the result of early cancerous changes. The blade glides through smoothly. I don't feel like I'm encountering any changes with an unusual structure. No steatosis or cirrhosis. The liver is actually quite clean inside. The liver is basically healthy. We already know that the deceased didn't abuse alcohol. The question is, what about drugs or other substances? I move on to the heart. Oh. At a glance, we can see signs of a heart attack. The deceased is definitely too young to have a heart attack due to natural causes. The liver is enlarged, not from alcohol poisoning, and the heart looks like it has collapsed. So, I guess we need to go to the centrifuge and check for these barbiturates.
Okay. So, mark the damaged heart. Forgot about that.
The last time I saw this kind of poisoning was a few years ago. I better check the data in my notebook. He was a middle-aged guy. He took his medication and forgot about it. So, he took another pill. He forgot again and took another one.
So what am I looking for?
Until he took the last one. That's why it's better to have amnesic drugs in boxes labeled with the days of the week. This sort of thing rarely happens anymore. Doctors tend to prescribe benzodiazepines. They are safer, but still shouldn't be combined with alcohol.
You? Alright, okay. So, place this at right. So, perform a second toxicology test. The presence of barbiturates. Okay. There. 1075. So 1075.
All right.
Yeah. Where? I didn't set it. A wee mouse disappeared there. So 10.
We close the centrifuge and pray that it doesn't
75.
do anything again.
Do not go off, don't flicker.
It looks like our luck is in.
Okay.
We can take the samples to the lab now. I
Cool.
wonder how she was able to get hold of these drugs.
Probably bought them. What the heck was that?
Okay, 2 samples this time. 6 milliliters each.
Okay, 6. It would be 6 and then 12. And now 12. And then we move it to the machine.
Let's see how much of it we find. Nothing surprising. Significant amounts of phenobarbital metabolites of hepatic origin.
I had no idea what any of that meant.
Looks like I'll have to check the contents of the deceased's stomach. The tests showed that the collected blood contained enough barbiturates to cause cardiopulmonary collapse. The question now is whether it was an accident or a deliberate act. I'm proceeding to examine the stomach. Before extraction, I ligate the entire organ to prevent its contents from spilling out. Okay, I'm now cutting out the organ, which will move to the board for dissection.
Right, here we go.
Normally, the stomach and intestines are full of surprises.
Yeah.
But not this time. We see remnants
just loads of pills.
undigested food and a dense mass of pills. You don't
Huge pills. This all same. Return to the autopsy.
Length and width normal. No obvious pathological changes. Undigested drugs found in the stomach of the deceased. The direct cause of death was probably an overdose. I'll check the rest of the organs, and then the nervous system. We'll see how significant the marks on the neck are for the whole kit. Lungs are
Inspect
normal,
the lungs.
no lesions. The victim was probably a smoker, but was unlikely to be in any serious danger. The deceased's intestine is normal. No clear pathological changes. The deceased's trachea is normal. Complete patency. No food or fluid. Abdominal cavity checked off. We can check the brain.
I hate this bit. Sounds horrible.
I make a cut to open the lid of the victim's skull and remove the brain.
And we take the brain.
Normal. No obvious lesions. Alright. I need to dissect it on a board.
What? There's nothing left of her?
Using a knife, I carefully cut through the brain tissue. I peek inside a bit, and... I don't think there's anything worth noting. As expected, the deceased's brain is in excellent condition. No discoloration.
Flew through that, didn't we?
It's still the matter of the marks on the neck. They look superficial, but who knows? Maybe the spinal cord has been severed. I need goggles.
Okay, the safety goggles in the
I
desk.
think the goggles were in the desk drawer. Oh, they're out there. Alice. Saw. I need saw.
Who was this?
Fuck. I don't see it here. Oh. I know. I probably left it in the basement after its last cleaning.
Oh, was the basement? Go and ask Ridley where the basement key is.
Mr. Ridley, I need a key to the basement.
It's in the social room.
Why is the key lying at the... never mind. Thank you.
Hey, Hammond. Did you hear about the convoy? Well, maybe you'll get a chance to relive your glory days and catch Red Beat again, huh?
Let's hope there won't be a need for that. If only he could put that much enthusiasm into his work.
Oh, in here?
I get the feeling that searching through this rubbish is more pathogenic than working with corpses. Please, may this be the last trip.
And here's so depressing looking. It's so...
Fuck. Why did the prison convoy have to get into an accident?
Is it was it basement?
Breath. Deep, pleasantly cool breath.
I don't even know if I'm going the right
We
way.
finished with the autopsy. Then you can go home and rest.
Oh. What is this? A light on in there. Is it here?
I'll take the saw.
Okay. Oh, that's loud.
Fuck! It's jammed! Doesn't anyone do maintenance around here? Damn hatch. Damn Red Pete. Never again, if only.
Thought that was a person there. This is all. Oh my god! State of that.
It would be easier if I put things away properly.
So we can actually look about in here.
Damn student lectures and their fucking props.
There's nothing else to look at in here. Should we be outside that long with an escaped serial killer on the loose? He's just sitting in that van waiting.
And like clockwork, he's already sleeping. Sorry for the short interruption. I hope you all took the opportunity to grab some coffee. And now that I have everything I need, I'll move on to reviewing this
Oh, wait. I need to keep it in it. That sounds flipping horrible. There. That's like, isn't that just one of the saws that you use in everyday construction?
The spine is removed. I can see that the spinal cord was not severed.
Just a shell of herself now.
Around the neck, hanging didn't negatively
Return to the autopsy.
affect the
Alright,
condition of the
okay.
deceased. Ladies and
Look.
gentlemen, almost over. Now, to sum up and tidy away the body. The direct cause of Samantha Barker's death was a heart attack resulting from an overdose of barbiturates. Traces found on the body suggest that the overdose was a deliberate act, following a failed attempt to hang herself. The autopsy found no evidence or genetic materials indicating that death could have been the result of an attack. Third-party involvement must be excluded.
Okay. Alright, so it was suicide
Autograph and
on
we
the
can start sewing.
sign. Fucked that up there, but oh
In the
well.
1950s and 1960s, the use of barbiturates for suicide was actually
Close
quite
the body.
common.
Are you
I
not?
think it was most talked
You're
about
gonna
in
have to pack that.
Monroe.
Like that would just all fall in. Especially that one compared to the last one.
At
You
home,
have to pack that
looking for
shit.
Help and comfort. On death row, a farewell to the
The
confidence.
needle.
Well, we're done for today. Thank you for your attention.
No putting our head back on, no. Place the body in the fridge.
Tiring day. I can feel those hunger pains coming on. I guess I'll have to pick something up along the way. Gloves in the trash. Leave the apron for cleaning. Now I can go. Camera. I didn't turn it off. A nightcap will do me good. Good night, Mr. Ridley. The police will pick up the body and accompanying documentation in the morning.
Hey, wait, the door just knocked me to the
I
side.
guess there are actually two things in this world you can be certain of. Death and
Is it in the back of the car?
gratitude.
No. Okay.
Alright, maybe three things. My whiskey on the rocks when I get home. So cold. I guess I should have brought my jacket to work.
So, I'm going to leave the video here.
Quite intimidating when it's so quiet.
Trying to say I'm...
Almost
Oh,
there.
stop, shut up, Jack. I'm trying to
I'll go
talk.
out for a drink
God.
tonight, so I'll drink my whiskey in the company of my TV. Ah, shit. I forgot the muffin. Well, Ridley will have a nice treat for the night. I'm sure he'll be his
Jack,
happy, thankful
shut
self
up.
tomorrow.
I'm going to... Anyway, I'm going to leave the video here, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.